once again, Destiny 3 has come up to be the topic of discussion for, I guess, two reasons. Because of Luke Smith had a message before the reveal, and basically there wasn't much to it. He basically said, it's been a good journey. Final Shape is definitely not the end of Destiny, and it was definitely not the end of Destiny 2, and it's definitely not the end of Destiny. And then he was like, after Final Shape
and beyond,
we'll tell you about the future of Destiny 2 and beyond. Kind of smirk face, kind of typical Luke Smith fashion. But his entire, if you think about what was the intention of that message, is that, okay, we want to do, whoever's idea it was, whether Luke's or someone else at Bungie's, okay, Luke, can you do a message just to basically tell people that this isn't the end of Destiny and don't quit after Final Shape? Because there is obviously there's a very big narrative of like, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of quit Destiny after Final Shape, or I'm just gonna see the story out to the end and then I'll be done. This message was basically a way of like, let's get the big gun, Luke Smith, one of the most popular and longest running Destiny developers, just to kind of remind players this isn't the end and you should stick around and there is more to come. But also just to say there's more to come for Destiny and beyond. But when you talk about beyond Destiny, what else could that possibly be besides Destiny 3? Like,
right, yeah.
There's nothing. And also, what is Luke Smith working on? Because we know he's not working on Destiny 2. He's not the lead director. We know he's obviously a senior Bungie developer, but he's not working on Marathon. So you would imagine he's working on big picture Destiny stuff. Again, we don't know, but it's possible that he would be the project lead on Destiny 3. So it definitely seemed a bit typical Bungie fashion of just being like, hey, there's more to come after Destiny and this isn't the end. So that was an interesting message and definitely got a lot of people to think, oh, like beyond Destiny 2, is there a Destiny 3 coming?
Yeah, and I think also there are two things definitely leaning towards adding a little bit more weight on that statement, just from the outsider's perspective, which is that I think Destiny is a franchise that is in need of a reputation reset again.
A fresh start.
A fresh start for players, but also an ability to get new players in.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very important point for the game. And whilst there's absolutely going to be a big push to preserve a bunch of what veterans already have, I think there's also going to be a really big push to say, hey, we need to pull back in old players, but also we need new blood, Like, Destiny is a franchise that has to exist based off the idea of, well, we can't just have old players burning out and then leaving. We also need new players to come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's that one thing that certainly is looking really good for it. I think also, if you're ending a saga and you're aiming to start a new one, you don't start the new one with an episode, right? Like, you don't start it with a bit of seasonal content. You start it with a bang. And there's nothing like putting another number on a box and sitting there and being like, yes, this is what you've got suddenly.
You need like a new entry point, and you need because it's kind of like a weird mix, because existing players, I've seen a lot of existing players that don't want to lose their stuff and they don't want to like leave Destiny 2. But then that's also like, that goes against what would get new players into the game, because there are a lot of new players who probably aren't going to play Final Shape because it just seems like they're coming in on like episode 10 and they haven't seen episode 1 through 9 and they're kind of like, what's going on? They're like, prismatic, I don't even know I haven't even experienced all the subclasses yet. So they feel like they're behind, and that kind of mentality makes people kind of not hesitant to jump into something because they feel like they're not like caught up. So there's a lot of, it's kind of a mix between, a lot of players don't want a fresh start because they want to continue with Destiny 2, but then there's a lot of players who will only jump in if there is a fresh start and a clean state and everyone is at a new level playing field.